You know, if you were to ask me about life, I would probably tell you that it's not too easy. And one of the problems is oftentimes we graduate college, we've studied, we've taken our classes, or we've jumped out of high school and we've jumped into a career, but we find ourselves at this place in life as a young adult, 24, 25, 26, 27, whatever the age is. And we begin to realize that sometimes life isn't all that we thought it was going to be. That life isn't all that it's cracked up to be. In fact, a lot of us go to school, we do a lot of study, and we take a lot of classes. And then we graduate with this concept in our mind that we're going to go out and we're going to find a job and we're going to utilize all the skills that we just learned. And then we realize that we get hired into a job that pays too little, that has too much stress, that isn't fulfilling. And we begin to discover that we don't have the time off for summer vacation, for winter break. And life kind of hits. We realize that it's difficult to live. If you're out here in Orange County, you understand that in Orange County, California, it's tough to live. And sometimes we find ourselves at this place in our life to where we're a little bit disenchanted with life. And so if you ask me, just like I said about life, I'd say, you know, life can be pretty tough. But life's worth living. And life is worth living well. And there's a key to living life well, and that's understanding who you are. Not understanding what the world says about you or who the world says you are, but understanding what God says about you and understanding who God says you are. See, God says that you're special. Just like I have a fingerprint, and you can take this fingerprint and you can recognize my fingerprint out of every single person that's ever been or will be. That's how unique my fingerprint is, that just as my fingerprint is unique, I'm unique. God created me special. There's no one else like me, and there's no one else like you. And God did that for a reason. Because God desires to use you, and God desires for you to understand that your identity is wrapped up in His very nature. That when you understand that it's not about power, it's not about wealth, it's not about who you're dating, it's not about who you're married to. It's not about what car you drive, it's not about what job you have. You begin to understand that it's not about the what's in life, but it's wrapped up in the who in life. Not the what do you have, more about who has you. You see, God loves you. He created you. He has a plan and a purpose for your life. And the who, the God, not the band, but the God, He wraps you up in His hand. And He says, I created you. Let me show you and let me tell you who you are. And even though life is tough, we yield ourselves, we submit ourselves to God, the one who created us. And we're able to rest. No matter how difficult life may be, when we understand our identity isn't in the what's, but in the who. Who has us, who holds us, who created us, who has a special plan and a purpose for our life. Life is a lot more manageable. Doesn't mean it's easy. Life is tough. And if anybody tells you anything differently, they're not telling you the truth. Because life is difficult. There are a lot of peaks and there are a lot of valleys. And oftentimes it seems like there are a lot more valleys than there are peaks. But when we understand the who, and we understand our identity is in the who, it sure makes life a lot more manageable. So I challenge you in this moment, embrace the who.